Hey, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the AWM NFL podcast. My name is Riccardo Stewart, and I'm your host, and I'm joined with my friends Zach Miller, Sam Acho, and Jeff Locke. If you guys have been following along with us, last week we began to talk about one of the more important NFL benefits that NFL players have, and that's the NFL 401k. And today I wanted to talk about some more. I mean, we're not going to have an exhaustive list of benefits, but it's something that I know that most players are not fully educated on, and that is, what benefits do they have? When do they get these benefits? How does it benefit them while they're playing? And then how do they benefit when they're not playing? And I'm always joined, and I never get sick of saying this, with guys who I get to work with that have over 20 years of NFL experience, as well as financial expertise. And so I want to be able to tackle some of these questions about NFL benefits in hopes that it would be able to help educate, and in some ways even inspire certain guys to be like, hey, there's things I have access to so I could use. And so let me start first with you, Sam. When you were in the locker room, how did you hear about NFL benefits, and were you properly educated in terms of your, experience?
When I was in the locker room, Riccardo, my focus was on ball. I wanted to be the best football player that I could possibly be. That was the goal. And so all of my focus, at least the majority of my focus during the season, was how do I be the best player I could be? Now, I did know about some of the different NFL benefits that were negotiated, but when I heard benefits, I was thinking things like tuition reimbursement. So I went back and got my MBA when I was playing, so I could use that benefit. Think of things like some of the off-season programs. They have like a master's in business type of program. And so I'm like, okay, these are great benefits. And I heard about the 401k, and I kind of heard about the pension, but I wasn't thinking about that at all. What I wish I would have known is that with some of those investments, there were things that I could have done that would have added to my bank account in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So I got the very base minimum of, okay, let me invest the full amount in my 401k. And then I just put it to bed and didn't think about it, thinking that it would all be taken care of, without realizing there was so much more opportunity that I was missing out on that actually wouldn't have taken that much more work from me. It would have just taken education and really the right team to make it happen.
I mean, most NFL players, right? This is the first time they've had a job, right? And there could be 5 years in, they could be a 10-year vet. And even for those of us, myself included, that has had like a career, I was a pastor for years. I remember not knowing the benefit, meaning I knew I had a 403B, which would be equivalent of a 401k. And I was talking to one of the guys that ran on all of our benefits, and I was talking about what gym I was going to. And he goes, well, isn't it nice that you get a chance to go for free considering how much you go? And I said, no, I pay X amount a month to go to this particular gym. He goes, no, part of your benefits is if you go 15 times a month, it's free. And I'm like, wait, free? And I had no idea, because who reads the player manual? Who reads all of these things? Nobody, because like you said, you're thinking about ball. So
I'll say this, Riccardo.
Go ahead.
Real quick. I know you're going to him, but the guy you're about to ask the question, he reads them. Because I've had some conversations with Jeff Locke, the professor. I'm 5 years out of my NFL playing career. I'm 37 years old, so I'm just finished that 5-year mark. And there's some different benefits I didn't know about that I knew kind of on the ancillary, but Jeff Locke hit me with all the details. So I apologize for interrupting, but you said who reads it. I know one guy you're about to ask a question to who absolutely reads it.
Jeff, since you read them and you know them, and you are probably one of our better experts on these NFL benefits, give us some of the more important ones, and maybe important is the wrong word, but just kind of give us the ones that players definitely need to know about. And if there's any that you want to drill down on, go ahead and talk about those as well.
First funny story to Sam's point. When I was playing for the Vikings, I was literally in the hot tub one day after a meeting, and I was reading the books we had just gotten from them about the investment choices. And so many guys walked by like, this guy is just different. Like no one reads this stuff. But last episode, we talked about the 401k, right? So that's one of the biggest ones as a current player. You got to know what's going on. Maxing contributions, selecting the right investments. There's another one called the CAP, right? Capital Accumulation Plan. It is essentially a second 401k that you get in the NFL, right? You get access to it a little bit later than your 401k, but you can also go select the investments. You don't put any of your own money into it. The team puts money into it, but you still got to make sure it gets invested correctly. We see that missed all the time, right? Life insurance. As a current player, you get life insurance on your own life to pay out to your family if something happened to you while you're playing. A lot of guys go out and buy additional life insurance, too much life insurance out of their own pocket because they don't realize how much they have the NFL's paying for. And then one thing Zach's going to talk about here in a second, line of duty and disability, right? You don't get access to that until you're done playing. But while you're an active player, it is extremely important that you report your injuries when you get them, right? Hiding an injury in the NFL, almost always the wrong thing to do if you're trying to get paid later on. And you can get paid for 5+ years when you're done playing, monthly payments based on injuries you sustained. So as a current player, those are like the big three that I think about.
That's super helpful. So Zach, as a 8-year NFL vet, what were some of the benefits that you have, no pun intended, benefited from in terms of when you were playing? And then now, post-career, how many years out are you?
I'm over a decade out now.
Dang, homie.
That's what I'm about to say too.
Time is undefeated. So the biggest ones, I mean, I just added up all my benefits to get ready for this podcast. $2.4 million in NFL benefits is how much money I accumulated from just all those things that you earn. As a player, your NFL benefits are a part of your compensation. Not just the salary, not just what you get on the field, not just the paychecks. So that's a huge amount of money. And it should be incorporated into your investment plan and your financial plan, all that. You can't ignore it. I mean, 2.4 million should double and double again by the time I start taking money out of it. So that's huge numbers. Just like Jeff said, I'm on line of duty. So lateral ankle reconstruction, you get a point system. Just keep track of your surgeries and major injuries because the NFL makes it hard to qualify for line of duty. So everyone gets hurt in the NFL. Keep track of those things because when it comes time to claim that, I mean, that's $54,000 a year that they pay to me for 7.5 years that if you don't keep track of your injuries, the NFL teams will try not to pay you. Second thing, NFL tuition reimbursement literally made the NFL pay for my finance degree. That was $50,000. And then I have an NFL health reimbursement account. So you see that NFL HRA. So I don't have the NFL insurance anymore. I have to pay my own premiums out of pocket for medical. So you can use that account. It's a cash account that anytime you have anything medical, don't pay with your checking account. Use that HRA account because that's your money. You want to use that as quickly as possible because it's not an investment account. It just sits there losing money to inflation. So those are the three big ones.
Man, this is I hope this is helpful for you guys as the listeners, especially as NFL athletes, as parents, wives, spouses. I mean, just to be able to go, hey, this is something we got to get a hold of. Jeff, just continuing to talk more about these benefits in particular that they had. What's something or a role that your advisor should play? I mean, because we come from the family office model, and so obviously we know about this. We're talking about it. But what role should an NFL athlete expect for his advisor to have in terms of not just the investing side, but also the educating and equipping side?
Yeah, you led the witness here. Your advisor should be helping you manage and should be educating you on your benefits, period. If they're not doing the job that you need them to do, right? Two things happen in our industry. One, advisors don't have the knowledge like a group of us do, right, on the benefits to be able to give you actual good advice. And two is some companies that advisors work for literally don't allow their advisors to advise on these benefits because they're afraid of getting sued for guys giving the wrong advice, right? So you got to find an advisor that can actually help you advise on this. We've had clients come over from other advisors when they're done playing, right? We look back at their benefits, we look at what was not done, and we see hundreds of thousands of dollars out the window that guys are never getting back because it wasn't managed correctly in the first place on the investment side mostly, or they're not taking advantage of all the free benefits or the free matchings coming from the NFL and the clubs. And it takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise to be able to maximize all that value.
Okay. Just to hear from the three of you guys, just coming from your own personal experience. And that is, what tangible ways, and I know we've mentioned some of them, but what tangible ways are your NFL benefits helping you right now in your life?
I'll say for me, if I can go first, these last 5 years after retiring from the NFL or not playing anymore, I haven't officially announced a retirement. If somebody calls, come holler at me. But these last 5 years, I've been able to stay on the NFL, some of the NFL insurance plans. So like, I'm married, I have 4 kids, right? We've had some health stuff in our family that's real. And the fact that I'm still have the insurance from the NFL, paid for essentially by the NFL, negotiated through our collective bargaining agreement from the players, that's a benefit that we have. That's something that we chose, as opposed to, hey, give me more salary in my pocket. Hey, I want more benefits so I can have that down the line. That's something that I've personally benefited from over these last several years. And even talking with some of the guys who I've got a chance to spend time with. I was calling the Cardinals preseason games, talking with guys on the Cardinals who've played for a decade plus. They're asking me now, they're saying, hey man, how does that insurance work when I'm done playing? And hey, what happens when I finish those 5 years? How does that work? So those are the benefits that I've experienced. And those are the questions and the conversations that are happening in the locker room with guys who we serve.
And I'm just ahead of Sam, right? My 5 years ended a couple years back. So I was kicked off of the NFL fully covering health insurance. But then there's 2 more things you can do. There's something that most guys don't know about called the dedicated health network. So I literally go weekly with my wife for free to marriage counseling that the NFL fully pays for, right? If you know how to use this benefit. Physical therapy on some of my injuries. Punters do get hurt still in the NFL, I promise. Some of my PT, fully covered. Vaccines, physicals, fully covered, right? That's before you dip into the HRA, the health reimbursement account Zach talked about, where then everything else gets covered. That's medical. So if I keep up the way that I'm working out right now, staying healthy, right, I won't pay a single dollar in medical costs for 25 years, right? Just based on the NFL benefits that I have. But you got to have a system. You got to know how the systems work to make sure you maximize the benefits.
Jeff is not working the system. He's using the system.
Hey, when you read the fine print, things happen.
I love that. And this all started in the hot tub. Anyway, speaking of hot tub, Zach, what benefits are you reaping right now?
Well, first of all, on the NFL insurance, after 5 years, you can keep it. But guess what those premiums are? Like $40,000 a year if you have a family. Like that, $40,000 a year, that's hard to find that value in that. So that's why you got to start thinking about it. You know, once you're done playing, you got to have a plan there, which we like to help out with. The one thing I wanted to say that a lot of guys don't use and they should use is the NFL Foundation will give matching grants. And it's probably one of the least used things that we've earned as NFL players is, so like I'm coaching my son's flag football team and I can get a matching grant of $5,000. All I have to do is fill out some paperwork. I donate $5,000. The NFL matches the $5,000. And so there's a lot of benefits there. And it's not just for coaching. It's also to help out any program. Can be community and social justice, and then football programs. So there's a couple different ones that's on the NFL Foundation, and we're happy to help any players navigate that if they're looking to contribute and then get those matching grants from the NFL.
Good. I'm going to wrap this up. One, a couple things I heard. One, Sam has not retired yet. So if any NFL team is out there, you guys can get Sam. 2, Zach is going through the foundation to get $5,000 to help coaching. If you get those kids free meals and rides, don't get that Teddy Bridgewater, okay? Don't get suspended. But in all seriousness here is there are a whole lot of benefits that you have as an NFL athlete. And these benefits is something you do need to be educated on to be able to, no pun intended, benefit your life. If you want more information on this, you want to talk with us and you want to be educated more, please reach out to us. Our number is 602-989-5022.
This has been a production of AWM Capital, the Athlete Family Office. Reach out to the team at athletefamilyoffice.com or by calling or texting 602-989-5022. All opinions expressed by the hosts are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of AWM Capital. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon in any manner as professional advice or an endorsement of any practices, products, or services. There can be no guarantees or assurances that the views expressed here will be applicable to any particular facts or circumstances and should not be relied upon in any manner. You should consult your own advisors as to legal, business, tax, and other related matters concerning any investment. Clients and employees of AWM Capital may maintain positions in the securities or companies discussed in this podcast.